Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope we're all doing well. So as you can see, I'm a bit burnt, that's why I'm covered up a bit today. But on to today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about why you feel so lost in your journey. So I wanted to talk about this because it is something that I think a lot of people are really struggling with recently. They just feel really lost. They see people a lot more successful than them, they're younger, and they just don't even know where to start. So I recently had a conversation with one of my friends, and he's like, like Thomas, I just really want to be successful. I'll put the work in. I just want to make money. I just don't know how to do it. And I feel this is a really, really common feeling amongst a lot of young people with those aspirations of entrepreneurship, making money, becoming successful. Fucking hell, these birds are so loud around me, but hopefully you can still hear me. So the first area I want to talk about as to why you feel so lost is comparison. And I heard a quote the other day that comparison is the thief of joy. And it really is, because we have so much comparison nowadays. As soon as you log into any form of social media, you see these guys in Dubai, 22, maybe even younger. They're making six figures a month. They're living a digital nomad lifestyle. They've got everything you'd want. Whilst you're doing a job that you don't even enjoy. It's for minimum wage, and you don't even enjoy. It's not what you want to do anyway, and it's very hard for you to be okay with that. I completely understand this, guys, because I was there myself, and it's difficult. I personally couldn't accept that, and I know a lot of people my age are not willing to accept that. They just don't know where to go from here, and we're going to get onto that a bit later on in this video, because I was actually having a conversation with one of my family members the other day while I've been away, who is a lot older than me, and they were asking me a lot of things about the stuff I'm doing at the moment, like what my plans were, and they were all saying, oh, it's really good what you're doing, it's a positive message, I think it's needed a lot more, and that was all really nice. But I spoke a bit about my friends, etc., and I mentioned that a lot of my friends really don't know what to do, and their impression was like, oh yeah, they just don't want to work, do they? That's it. And they're lazy. And I really don't like how that's kind of interpreted by a lot of older people, that they think that, oh, he doesn't want to get like a normal job, so he's lazy, he doesn't want to work. No, that's just not the case. And I really defend people who don't know exactly what to do with their life, because it's not fair to say that they're lazy, because more than often that is not the case. They just see there's a lot more to life out there than just working paycheck to paycheck, doing a job that's not fulfilling. They've seen their parents do it and it didn't make them happy, so they're not going to repeat that. They'd be insane to do that. I know a lot of people do that anyway, but a lot of people who are actually a bit switched on and they've got a lot of ambition, of course they're not going to settle. Of course you're not. If they were to go back and they had all the resources that they had now, the internet and social media, etc., I'm sure they wouldn't have settled for kind of what they have done, with due respect to them. And yeah, like I say, I really like resonate with these guys, because there are guys out there who are, like I say, they're killing it, they're younger than you. And believe me, like I was there. I've done like a normal 9-to-5 job for not for very long. I'm not going to lie to you. I was there for about 10 weeks. I did 2 years of university, and then I was going to do a placement for a year and go back and do my final year. However, this didn't quite work out to plan. I started my placement and I did it for roughly about 11 to 12 weeks, and honestly, I just hated it. It was not for me whatsoever. The job itself was not even that bad. I was 21 on a placement, and I was due to earn about £22,500 a year, which is good. Like, that is good money. There's people a lot older than me who have families and earning that amount of money, and like they're okay with that. But it wasn't even about the money for me. It was just the unfulfillment. I just could not get behind an idea that I didn't have the passion for and was not fulfilling in any way. I felt like regardless if I do this work or not, I'm going to get paid the same. Obviously, yeah, you can promote yourself and work your way up the ladder, but I think that's bullshit, really. Like, if you stay there long enough, you'll probably get there. And I kind of already knew before, and very close after I started, within a couple of weeks, that I was not going to be there long term anyway. So I just had the mindset, maybe rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly, that I wasn't much point in me putting like 100% into it. I knew I wanted to pursue YouTube and entrepreneurship. I was heavily starting my self-improvement journey, and I had some ideas of starting this channel. I just didn't have the confidence and never got round to it. And I knew, this was something that I really like aspired to be like, and I just couldn't be okay with just having that job and living a kind of mediocre life. I was prepared to go just all or nothing. For me, that's what it was like. So that's kind of a bit about my story, and I just think comparisons is really difficult, and it's kind of linked to the second thing that I want to talk about in this video, which is the modern day distractions, because there are more modern day distractions than ever, and it is so hard for a young person. Is very linked to comparison and social media, because social media is 100% the worst distraction that has been ever made. I think if we were to go back 10-15 years, it was not this hard when you're younger. You didn't feel that pressure on your shoulders, like myself being 22, to kind of like go make something for yourself and go make your name, and it was not that hard. A lot more people were just kind of happy to have a job, but that's not the case anymore. Like I say, you see those guys who are younger than you, they're making a lot more money, and that is all kind of through social media, and which is another distraction. And all of the other distractions that we have in our life, like video games, porn, anything along those lines, that it's just wasting our time that we didn't have 10-15 years ago. It's really hard, because I know people really get distracted with these type of things, and like I say, I really think it's never been harder to be it's never been easier to be successful in this current day. However, it's never been easier to be unsuccessful as well, because of all the modern day distractions. And whereas you can be very successful because a lot of people are distracted, and it's very hard to remain focused, and your competition really, really narrows down once you get to a certain level, and a lot of people will not be able to keep up to your level, especially the younger you are. Because my age, I nearly anyone I know is distracted, or they're addicted to something. I can't really think of anyone. They'll probably people may be watching this and be like, oh, I'm not addicted to anything. Well, yes, you are. If there's something you do every day, and even if you don't do it every day, but you rely on it in some way, then you're addicted to it. And I've been addicted to stuff, and I have the humility to admit that. But no, like nowadays, I feel my focus is definitely improving. I have a very long way to go, believe me. There's some stuff that I do that I know I can improve on significantly. But the main things we need to be concerned about is distractions and comparisons, and that is all through social media. So I've made videos before on social media, quite a few if you go through my channel, and I would 100% advise you to definitely take a back step away from social media for your own good, for your mental health. It's something that I did for a long time. And if you're not interested in kind of building a business or kind of like showing something off on social media, then I would 100% recommend just cutting social media out of your life, because it honestly is not worth it for the distraction and focus. And if you really want to go hard on something and achieve a big goal in your life, then just cut it out completely. It doesn't even have to be permanently. Just say 3-6 months, just don't go on it. Like, you don't need it. But a lot of people won't take this advice because they're addicted to it in some way. And I would even say myself, I'm somewhat very slightly addicted to it, but I probably use social media for like 30 minutes, an hour a day, if that. And most of the time I'm trying to produce content, and I still even have the humility to admit that I am somewhat addicted to it. But I know a lot of people won't, and they'll try and cope and say, oh, it's good, I watch these shorts, and oh yeah, Andrew Tate shorts and all of this. Like, just have some humility and just like admit that you're not where you want to be because of distractions and comparisons. So that's enough of kind of me like ranting. I want to give you some advice because I want you to be successful, because I know how hard it is to kind of break out of that. So my best piece of advice for those people who feel lost is spend time alone, and preferably, if possible, well, it is possible, in nature, and remove anything, and more importantly, anyone who is not going to help you get to where you want to be in your life. and do that for as long as it possibly takes till you are happy where you are. If you are not happy where you want to be in life, then you shouldn't be doing any of the bullshit. You should be away from social media. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be partying. You shouldn't be taking drugs. You shouldn't be focused on women. You shouldn't be focused on men or whatever it may be. There are more options than ever to pursue when it comes to like a career or your purpose, your mission in life. And you just have to zone in on one, pick one, and completely focus your whole attention towards that. Because so many people I speak to, and there'll be people watching this, they hop from one idea to the next idea. And you've probably done this yourself, haven't you? I bet there's been an idea you thought of. You're like, oh yeah, maybe Amazon FBA. Oh, maybe drop shipping. Oh, I might start a YouTube channel. Oh, I might do some PT. Like, just pick one idea and go all out on it. And that is all you need to do. Just stay in it the long run, because longevity is so important in this industry, because a lot of people won't, especially when they don't see the results instantly, because everyone wants that instant reward, instant gratification, because our brains are so trained now to just have that instant pleasure and reward. But if you can be one of the very few that can just cut out these distractions and remain focused, honestly, you will win, and you will absolutely destroy the competition out there, because there is not a lot, I tell you, once you get your head straight, you focus in on your goals. And the other thing I would want to say is try your best to develop any skills that you can offer to other people, because at the end of the day there has to be a fair trade-off between the producer and the consumer. If you want people to buy your products or your services, then you've got to offer them something in return for their money. They're not going to just pay you for nothing. Like, you got to remember this. I know a lot of people want this kind of lifestyle of being like a digital nomad and not having to be someone's boss, but not having to work for someone. But at the end of the day there has to be a trade-off, and you have to develop a skill set which you can sell and leverage from other people. So that is another very important thing you need to remember, and that is my advice. But honestly guys, I know how hard it is. I really resonate, and I hope my kind of story of how I've kind of been there and done that and felt so lost completely. But the best thing you can do is really just get that time, cut out all the bullshit, and focus in on one thing that you really want to do, that's really your calling, your purpose and mission in life. And there's plenty more videos I have on my channel about purpose and mission, which I'd definitely recommend you to watch. So that's today's video. I think it's a really important one, so if you could share and subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.